2 locations and via Zoom. Classes consist of manifestation, learning psychic abilities, shadow work, and healing trauma. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
This is Psychic Medium Deb. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Twin Cities Con returns to the Minneapolis Convention Center for their 5th year, November 7th through the 9th. Twin Cities Con is a celebration of comics, toys, TV, film, art, cosplay, games, and all things nerdy. There's nothing like Twin Cities Con. It's also a family-friendly event where you can meet your favorite celebrities, browse the vendor hall and artist alley for the coolest merch, watch celebrity Q&As, and even more. Twin Cities Con is bigger and better than before. Come see from the Star Wars universe Ahmad Best, Rosario Dawson and Giancarlo Esposito, Brendan Fraser, and the cast of The Mummy, WWE Wrestling Hall of Famers Sting and Mick Foley, and the voice actors from the hit Disney series Phineas and Ferb, plus more guests to be announced. 3 days of action-packed fun in the heart of Minneapolis at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Tickets start at $50. Kids tickets are just $10 for the entire weekend. VIP tickets also available, including a 3-day weekend pass, plus some really cool VIP perks. More guests will be announced. Buy your tickets and get more information at TwinCitiesCon.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clear with a low of 38, then Tuesday, sunshine with a high of 60. Cafe Latte is your one-stop shop for award-winning soup, salads, sandwiches, a pizza and wine bar, and fresh treats from the bakery made daily. Cafe Latte is located in St. Paul on the corner of Grand Avenue and Victoria. Check them out at cafelatte.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed in the opinions given by the individual host, guests, random replay, or true cover may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the dark, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience. Because this isn't just your story. This is our story. This is GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun.
And this is GhostBox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakun. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. First off, I just want to quickly say to everybody, thank you very much for watching our Halloween show. And it was a lot of fun to do. And I was really, really enjoying, very much enjoying the whole night. We did this great investigation there, which I thought was really a lot of fun. And I think a lot of people got something out of it that night. I really want to thank the Minneapolis Trolley Tour folks, because they let us into their absolutely wonderful Pillsbury Club. And if you watch the episode on Friday night, and if you haven't, you should go back and take a look, because it is absolutely stunning, this location. It is so good, and it's such a beautiful place. And as I mentioned many times, that the interior is actually been imported over from the UK. So part of the interior goes back to the 1400s, the 1600s, the 1700s, and it is absolutely wonderful. So if you have a chance, we did a great investigation there. We had Shar and Liz doing their thing upstairs. They had incredible in responses in this investigation. We had Psychic Medium, Refined Divine. She was great. She was channeling during part of it. And then if you saw it early on, we had Wade Kirby with us, and he was talking about going on tour with the Annabelle doll, as he had spent a lot of time with Annabelle, and it was pretty incredible. So this was very much very cool. So I'm just happy to be done with it, because it's a lot of work. And now we're moving on to the next stage of things, because I have with us someone who, quite frankly, we've had on a number of times already, talking about all of his wonderful books, so much so that I actually think he's kind of a co-host now.
Not quite.
Gosh, it's Tim Rayborn's with us tonight, and it's always great to have Tim with us because his books are so good. They're so interesting. And tonight we're going to be talking about the Little Dream Dictionary. It's an A to Z guide to decoding your dreams. Tim, welcome to GhostBox Radio.
Thank you. I'm glad to actually have copies of it. Finally.
Well,
yeah, they were a little late getting. That's why we had to postpone this by a couple of weeks, but that's fine.
Well, and that's just it. It's that we were going to have you on a couple weeks back or last week or something.
Like that. 2 weeks ago, I think. Something. Yeah, it literally arrived the day that I was going to do it, but you already had to reschedule. So,
but it's like all we want to do is make sure that we got you prepared the best you can to come on and talk about this book, and that it's ready for people to go out and buy and whatnot. The title is pretty self-explanatory, but why don't you tell us a little bit about what this is?
Sure. It's, as the name implies, it's a small dictionary, if you will, of dreams. There's 1,000 different dreams and dream types listed, and short definitions of what they might mean. So what if you have dreams, you can look them up. You can sort of see if they mean anything, if it's relevant to you. The nice thing about this is that it's, as I say in the book, is that it's kind of cross-referenced. So let's say you have a dream about a house. Well, that's fine. That might mean one thing. But what if the house was red? Well, you can also look up the color red and combine those two meanings. What if it's a red house in a forest? Well, maybe you want to add that out. So you can kind of like do a build up and get a sort of layering of what it might mean that makes it very specific to you. So that was one of the things we were looking at doing when we created it. It's not just this means this means this. You can it's like a buffet, sort of like dream interpretation buffet. You can you can mix and match things based on your particular dream and see if those meanings become more clear and sharper for you.
That's such an interesting point too, because I never really think about it. I mean, yes, you have dreams about certain things, but it really, I suppose, getting to that minutia of color and everything, all the stuff that maybe you don't think is important, but actually everything in a dream is important, isn't it?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And this kind of allows you to do that. It's not specifically the purpose, but the entries are short enough that you can sort of combine them in different ways and sort of, mix and match based on what you have. And again, I think one of the important things with any dream interpretation book, because you can go on websites, I even include a couple of websites in the further reading, and there's thousands of possible dreams. So we had to whittle it down to things I thought would be more relevant, the more common ones. And also you're going to get different interpretations based on, somebody might tell you that standing by a river means one thing, but another website might tell you something completely different. It really is going to be up to you. There is no one definitive sort of answer, but I think what I tried to put together in this book is like some of the more common interpretations. They're not necessarily the only ones, but they're ones that show up a lot in books, in websites and such. So I created a little handy guide based on like what are the ones that show up the most often. Like, what does a brick building mean? Well, if there's 3 different websites and books that all say it means more or less the same things, that means that there's kind of a consensus about that from psychologists or neuroscientists or even in sociologists and whatever. So there's a little bit of a mixture of science and psychology, but also sort of dream interpretation and spirituality, and all those things kind of go into it. But if there's no way there's going to be any one definitive definition of a dream, really.
No, and that makes sense. I'm wondering, I'm presuming that a dream, if it wants you to see something, it's going to make you see it. It's not going to be like there's a hidden meaning that you're going to miss in the background, right?
It might be, a lot of people have recurring dreams, and almost always means there's something you're not, paying attention to that's being brought. I mean, there's a number of scientific theories about why we dream, going back to Freud and even beyond. And Freud, of course, always thought it was unconscious impulses and such, but whether or not that's true, but there is a thing called the dream rebound theory, which means that if you're suppressing something, it will tend to come out, in your dreams, in your unconscious and such. Like if there's something you're not wanting to face, it will manifest itself in some way in your dream, but that may be different for every person. A person who's suppressing maybe childhood abuse, that maybe maybe one person that does that will dream of being chased, whereas another person might dream of drowning. It's going to be something unpleasant that your unconscious mind is trying to tell you need to face up to this. And that was, while a lot of Freud's theories are controversial and discounted, the dream rebound theory is one of those things that holds that sometimes what it is your unconscious mind sending you a message that you're missing something, that there's something you should confront and think about.
Do we have any idea why our brain does it in such an abstract way, though? Because it's certainly not the, if you're supposed to, like, if it's something I'm supposed to be doing, it doesn't tell me. It's doing it in a form of a brick building in the road.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I think it's also partly that we're getting in our own way. Like a brick building or a brick wall is saying that we're, because a lot of that is dealing with some symbols, and when you get into the unconscious mind, things don't make a lot of sense. Dreams often are absurd; they don't make a lot of sense. You'll be driving, and then all of a sudden it'll switch to you're walking, and nothing has changed. It's just the car has disappeared. I have that one. That's we're feeling of like riding in something in a car or on a bike, and then the next thing you know, I'm actually walking, and it's just like it's changed. That doesn't make any logical sense, but that's something that we do. So yeah, so there are a number of theories. A lot of them are like neurological. There's a whole bunch of different, like there's what's called the activation synthesis theory, which suggests that dreams are kind of a randomness that appear to the sleeping mind and are brought together in a meaningful way. It's almost like defragging your brain, basically. That's
sure.
There's the self-organization theory, which is that it's a side effect of your neural activity, which is why a lot of things don't make sense. There's the idea that it's for creativity or problem solving. Like if you can't get your head around something, maybe your mind will figure it out while you're sleeping, because our brains never sleep. We sleep, but our brains are always working. There's the continuity hypothesis theory, which suggests that the dreams are kind of a reflection of your real life, and you just continue living your life even when you're unconscious. There's the rehearsal and adaptation theory, which is interesting, that it suggests that dreams developed millions of years ago as a way to rehearse and prepare for problems in life. Like if you dream about an animal chasing you, it's going to prepare you to hunt that animal when you wake up. Or if you dream about falling off a cliff, you might be more careful not to go near cliffs, for instance. So it might be an evolutionary safety adaptation. There's theories that it has to do with memory, that how we move short-term memory into long-term memory, for instance. There's things about emotional regulation. There's a whole bunch of reasons, and any or all of them might be true. It seems like it's a very deep evolutionary adaptation to animals dream as well. We know that there are animals experience REM sleep and very probably have certain types of dreams. So it's not just limited to us talking primates. There seems to be other creatures whose brains do these things when they sleep as well. So yeah, it's a vast topic of, there are psychologists and psychiatrists who devote the whole career just to the study of dreams, really.
Well, and it's I've seen animals, I'm sure you have too, where they're having nightmares.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. You see a cat will like twitch and their tails poof up. That's a sign that something dangerous is happening. And then maybe they'll wake up and they'll kind of, it means that something. Yeah. It may be a very primitive, similar thing, but their little minds are telling them there's a danger. So it very possibly is an evolutionary adaptation for how to avoid danger. Absolutely, that's one possibility.
And the thing about dreams, because it's kind of almost hard to ask certain questions about it, because the answer is probably yes. Because it, like you said, it could be anything. Do you think, generally speaking, we're meant to learn from our dreams?
Yeah, I think so. I think we can. I don't know if we're meant to, but I think we can. I think that I don't know about you. I do have certain recurring dreams, so nothing disturbing, and I haven't yet to figure out what they mean. But there are certain things that periodically, every 2 or 3 months, will show up again. It's almost like a landscape. It's like that I've mapped out in my head, and what it actually means, I don't know, but I find it interesting. So I think we can derive meaning from them, even if we're not specifically telling ourselves something. I think it's possible to, interpret them. Yeah, definitely.
I do wonder if sometimes when we think we have reoccurring dreams, that it's our heads playing with us a little bit, because, and I don't mean like reoccurring dreams, like you can count what a dream is from like, over the last couple days or even a couple weeks ago. But, it's like there's a dream that might show up for me and I'll be like, oh, I remember having that dream, like years ago. But at the same time, I question, did I really have that dream, or is that kind of implanted in me? Just as in the dream itself, sometimes it feels like I've been living that life in that dream, my whole life, and that's not real. You know what I mean?
It's really interesting, isn't it? Yeah, sometimes you wonder. I've had that exact experience as well. Like, oh, I've had this before. Oh no, wait, have I? Is my mind just telling me I've had this before, but I haven't? It's like, what's real and what isn't? It's really interesting. Yeah, indeed.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I, do you keep a dream journal? I don't. I've always wanted to, but I'm too lazy.
Yeah, this book actually comes with a companion dream journal that I didn't write, but the same publisher put it out at the same time, so you can actually buy them together, and you can use this and then write your things down in that journal if you're so inclined. I don't. I've thought about doing it in the past, but I find personally, I don't really remember dreams all that well. Some people do, some people don't. I find that, they don't stay with me. And I try to tell myself that I'm going to remember it. And then by an hour after I'm awake, it's gone. So, or less. Sometimes it's gone, the moment I open my eyes.
Absolutely. And here's the weird thing. And once again, folks, the book is called The Little Dream Dictionary, an A to Z, or if you're in the UK, an A to Z guide to decoding your dreams with author Tim Rayborn. Sometimes I'll wake up and it's kind of an odd feeling. Like when I try to remember my dream, it almost feels like it's unwriting itself. And as I'm trying to remember it, I'm forgetting it.
Yeah. I've had dreams. It's weirdly frustrating where like you feel like you've really figured out something, like a profound answer to the universe or something, and then you wake up seconds later and it's gone, and you're like, no, completely trolling you.
It's so true. And I wonder, it's like, and I find that happening. Like I found it happening like over a period of time. And I wonder if that's actually related to stress or something as well.
Might be. Yeah, it might be. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's various spiritual traditions have theories about dreams as well. It's interesting. I know in Hinduism, there's a Hindu belief that it's the dreamless sleep is where we actually reconnect to the source of all reality. And when we're completely out of it, that's when we actually return back to the one. And that's the goal, obviously, of Hinduism, is to go through all these incarnations and such. But every night for a brief time, we actually do experience that. But it has nothing to do with dreams. The dreams are sort of illusions put up in the way to sort of prevent that. But you get through them, and then you actually reconnect to the source every night, which is what keeps us sane. And then you wake up and the other things are illusions. I mean, that's certain schools of Hinduism believe that, which I find really interesting as well.
That is really interesting. And dreams it's truly like dreams can mean something like, I'm sorry, dreams can mean everything. Doesn't I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. There's theories that some early spiritualities might, like, again, it's only a theory, but that like, primal peoples who like venerate ancestors, one of the ways this may have come about is early dreams of dreaming about someone who had died and believing that they were visiting you again in your sleep. It's like, if somebody that you cared for, your father, your mother, whatever, died, but then you dreamed about them the next night, you might very easily interpret that as meaning that they had come back, their spirit had come back to visit you in your sleep. And that may be one of the ways that the concept of ancestor worship and veneration started, was through dreams of dead relatives, or loved ones lost and such. I mean, it's a pretty broad generalization, but it is interesting. Yeah,
absolutely. We're going to take our first break, and when we come back, one of the things that we're going to do is Tim is not going to interpret your dream, okay? But if you have a dream, he could try. We were having a go at it prior to the show, but it didn't really end all that well. But
turn off the lights and put a flashlight under my face and put a hood over my head, and
But if you have a reoccurring dream and there's aspects to it that maybe it's in the book, and Tim can
look up. Sure.
Look, yeah. And then also, I want to share a couple of my dreams, and we can talk through them as well. So put them in the comments. Just do whatever y'all want to do. This is a great conversation, and the book is The Little Dream Dictionary. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. Greg Bakun here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information.
Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refinedivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
Twin Cities Con returns to the Minneapolis Convention Center for their 5th year, November 7th through the 9th. Twin Cities Con is a celebration of comics, toys, TV, film, art, cosplay, games, and all things nerdy. There's nothing like Twin Cities Con. It's also a family-friendly event where you can meet your favorite celebrities, browse the vendor hall and artist alley for the coolest merch, watch celebrity Q&As, and even more. Twin Cities Con is bigger and better than before. Come see from the Star Wars universe Ahmad Best, Rosario Dawson and Giancarlo Esposito, Brendan Fraser and the cast of The Mummy, WWE Wrestling Hall of Famers Sting and Mick Foley, and the voice actors from the hit Disney series Phineas and Ferb, plus more guests to be announced. 3 days of action-packed fun in the heart of Minneapolis at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Tickets start at $50. Kids tickets are just $10 for the entire weekend. VIP tickets also available, including a 3-day weekend pass, plus some really cool VIP perks. More guests will be announced. Buy your tickets and get more information at TwinCitiesCon.com.
And join me this Wednesday along with Char Savoy over at Billy's in Anoka. It's time once again for Ghost Stories and Beyond. Once again, it's in Billy's in Anoka. The topic this month, and this is a very personal one for us. On November 5th, 2022, a team of investigators conducted a paranormal investigation at the Grant House in Rush City, Minnesota. One of the sessions produced an extraordinary amount of evidence captured through spirit box communication, mediumship, shadow sightings, and even physical spirit interactions, all taking place throughout the Grant House Hotel in a remarkable 18-minute window. It is the most beautiful interaction with spirit this team of paranormal investigators have ever encountered. You guessed correctly, Shar and I are part of that amazing team that night that had been blessed with one of the greatest investigations of our career. Join us as we play the full 18-minute recording and then break it down into its most compelling moments of paranormal activity, lots of EVPs, lots of insight. It's absolutely amazing. And we'd like to share this with you. That's going to be this Wednesday at Billy's in Anoka, starting at 6:30. The cost is $10 to get it in. Food is an extra cost, of course, but burgers are half price. You got to come out and see this. This is truly amazing. It really, once again, explains, for those who don't realize it, that paranormal is not scary. So come on out. I mean, this is a very personal one for us. Also, I want to quickly say I'm going to be at Twin Cities Con this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We have a table out there, and I'm also doing a presentation. I'm going to get the time right. I don't exactly remember the time. It's Saturday afternoon. I think it's like 2 or 2:30. It's a lot of fun. A lot of great people are there. You heard the ads for it. Bradley Baker, who plays my favorite character on American Dad, Klaus. He's going to be there. I'm just excited about that. So come on out. If you're going out there, stop by the GhostBox Radio booth. Say hi. Would be happy to talk with you, and hopefully you stop by. My guest tonight is author Tim Rayborn. We are talking about his newest book, Hot Off the Press. Now, that's not what it's called. It's actually called what? Have you ever heard of a book called Hot Off the Press? Would that be great?
That would be great. There needs to be one, because then it's
It's called the Little Dream Dictionary, an A to Z guide to decoding your dreams. It's available everywhere. Go to your local bookseller and order it. Keep them in business. Or if you're feeling very generous, go over to GhostBox Radio, GhostBox Book Club. There you can go ahead and buy it through the Amazon affiliated link. It helps our show directly. Would really appreciate it. But also feel free to support your local booksellers and just get the book. It's going to be worth it. This is such a great topic for a book. Is this something you've wanted to do for a while, Tim?
No, I was actually commissioned to write this one. Interestingly enough, I find In Dreams interesting, but it wasn't something that I proposed.
Not a burning sensation of.
Not in the same way, no. But I find it interesting. The publisher, Inside Editions, actually reached out to me and asked me if I'd be interested in writing it. So I met with them, and we, to see if it would be a good fit. And yeah, it worked well. So yeah, that was about a year ago at this time is when they actually reached out to me to write it. So yeah, and I thought, sure, this sounds fascinating. It's a topic I'm interested in, and I'd like to delve more into it and learn more about it. So yeah, it was its own thing, but it was very much their project. They put out a lot of things like this, and they hire writers to do them. And I'm not even today still not sure how they found me, but they did.
So no reoccurring dream for months about writing about dreams.
No. Even now, no.
Even that was. I think especially now, quite frankly.
I don't have writing dreams at all, ever. It's funny.
Do you think that means you're on the wrong career path?
No, it means that I don't have any unvolved issues. That's what I'm telling myself.
It means
I'm doing the right thing, and my brain is not resisting it. So yeah.
One of the things that will always stick with me is that after my first attempt at paranormal investigating, I dreamt about being a paranormal investigator literally every night for about 6 months.
That's amazing! Wow, so he was trying to tell you that that was it. So
right, and it was never like scary. It was just like, I'm here doing what I want to do, and it was really great. Joshua in the comments, he was talking in the last segment about reacting to what we're talking about in dreams, and he says his consciousness. And then he said, I hope I spelt that right. And here, Joshua, always remember, spelling is not a requisite to join into the comments. You are just fine. Don't worry about how spells. We figured it out. It's totally fine. He also figured out, he's like, yeah, I didn't spell that right, but that's okay. I probably couldn't either. Do you want to hear a dream that has stuck with for years?
Please. Yeah.
I mean, this has to be like, I don't know, like 15 years at minimum. And it was for you won't know because you're not in the area, but it was in what we call Northeast Minneapolis, which I grew up in that area, so I know it fairly well. And actually, for those who have been paying attention, me doing some stuff over at Rogue Buddha Gallery, it's right around that area as it happens. And I remember one day, all the people I worked with, they were in a bar. Like, I wasn't in the bar with them. I knew that they're in a bar. Maybe I was trying to go there, or maybe I left there or something.
This is in the dream. This is in the dream.
In the dream. No, okay. I mean, I've plenty of times I met them in a bar, but yes, this part is a dream. Yeah,
in the dream.
Yeah,
okay.
we're in a dream now. People are probably wondering, what did those two take prior to getting on here? So I'm walking down the street. Right, me too. Walking down the street, and it's not winter. Why don't we say that? It's not winter, it's not cold. Walking down the street, and there's a tree, and on the tree is a snake. And as I pass over, and it's a big snake, big-headed, kind of hisses at me, and as I walk past the tree, it becomes winter.
Wow, I like that.
Isn't it? It's like, I mean,
that's cool.
You don't need to be, Nostradamus over here to figure out, like, that means some kind of change or something.
Let's see. Let me look it up and see what we've got here. We can try that thing of putting together a few different things, and let's see what
try.
we got.
I hope it doesn't come up with "you're going to die tomorrow."
No, I don't remember writing anything like that in this, so I think
so. That'll make it even crazier if that's actually what it says.
Let's see if I'm pretty sure. Let me see. All right, 1, 3, 2. We'll do the snake first.
Now, the snake is when I looked it up, there was multiple meanings to that. Remember I mentioned that there was some multiple meanings and stuff.
So if you're chased by a snake, you could be avoiding something, maybe deliberately, and you might fear having to confront it. This might be a part of yourself that you don't want to face. If it's a general dream about a snake, the snake presents no danger. The dream can often refer to the melding of conscious and unconscious minds. It doesn't bite you or anything, does it? Nope.
Okay. It just hits. The thing that always stuck out about the snake, it's actually kind of fake looking when I go past it, but it truly hisses at me.
Interesting. That's about it. So it suggests possibly, could be avoiding something. Now let's look at winter. Let's see what winter becoming winter.
Like change of season,
because there's dreams about like being bitten by a snake and that sort of thing, but it doesn't do that. So let's look up.
It's a well-behaved snake in my dream.
Dreaming of winter might suggest feeling stuck or fearing ill health. If, on the other hand, you love winter, the dream might represent the joy of the season and taking time to draw inward. So,
okay,
yeah. You said there was a tree there. The snake is also in a tree. Right?
Yeah, the snake was in a tree, coiled in a tree, one of the branches.
Let's see what the tree has to say. Is it a barren tree? Does it have foliage?
I think that it had some foliage, but not enough to hide the snake, if that makes sense.
Right. Well, trees in general symbolize growth and expansion and improving oneself, but a barren tree or partly barren, you might feel as if you've given too much energy to a project or a person and that you are drained and bare. You need to replenish and step back. Now, that kind of goes with the winter thing as well, so that's interesting.
Well, I'm sorry.
That's it. No, that's it.
Well, and I think to myself that, where I was at the time, it was a pretty, a very high volume sort of job.
Yeah.
It could be very stressful, and you couldn't leave it at work. You had to, you always took it with you because there was so much. So, and I don't know what the purpose of Northeast is. Perhaps it's almost because I've always, even though I hadn't lived there myself in a number of years, my family were out that way, and I've been there many times. Maybe in some way, perhaps I think of it as home. Maybe I don't know.
Sure. And if this job was really stressful, that might be indicating feeling stuck, and maybe the snake is part of that as well. Especially if it looks fake, then that career, that job doesn't feel real to you. It doesn't feel like the real thing. So,
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? This is so fascinating. I think this is so great. And once again, the book is called The Little Dream Dictionary, an A to Z guide to decoding your dreams. It's written by our guest tonight, Tim Rayborn. And once again, you can go all over the place to pick up this book. Support local bookstores. Also, feel free to go to ghostboxradio.com, Ghostbox Book Club. There's an Amazon affiliated link. It helps the show directly, but whatever makes the most sense for you, just as long as you pick up the book. I think you're going to really enjoy it. While you were putting this book together, did you have these aha moments with any dreams or anything? Well, you did kind of mention you don't remember a lot of dreams. So
I'm really not good at them. I have these frustrating things where I'm sure I'm going to remember them, and then it doesn't, and it probably would make sense to keep some kind of notepad, nearby to jot down things. But a lot of times they just don't stick. One of the more frustrating things, because I'm also a musician, have been for many years, and I will sometimes hear really cool music in my dreams, and I tell myself I'm going to remember it because I'm clearly writing something, and then I wake up and it's gone. I've had that happen on many occasions, and that's kind of it's disappointing. And there's historical precedent for that. There's a number of famous composers that have actually, like, you may know the Devil's Trill by Giuseppe Tartini, who was a famous 18th century Baroque composer, had a dream of the devil sitting at the edge of his bed playing this incredible, violin thing, and he woke up and immediately started writing it down, and it's generally considered his greatest work. It's an absolute virtuosic violin piece. He says that the music he wrote down can't compare with what he actually heard in his dream, but it's like a close approximation. So yeah, I find that really interesting.
You're just hoping that you're going to wake up with the song Yesterday or something equivalent, like Paul McCartney, because that's how Paul McCartney says he came up with that song.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It's so funny. These things do happen. It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, what is it? There's poems and other works of literature that have inspired by dreams as well. So it's pretty common actually for artistic types. But yeah, I've had a number of occasions where I know I heard some really cool music, but it just didn't stick with me after I woke up. So yeah. But I do have a recurring dream. I haven't really, it doesn't seem to have it's more like it's a location, and it's like this house that's kind of pale white surrounded by a lot of trees, but it's really long. It's not like your typical White House. It's kind of narrow and just keeps going, and there's multiple layers, kind of not as quirky and weird as like the Winchester Mystery House, but like it's just got extra layers and stuff and trees around it and such. And that shows up about every 4 or 5 months in one of my dreams. It's just a place I happen to frequent, in the dream world. So yeah, nothing really ever happens there, but it's like a backdrop. It's a set. It's like a stage set basically. So yeah.
So you just kind of walk around in there and whatnot?
Yeah, sometimes, or I just walk by it or whatever. Sometimes I'm on the roof, it doesn't really have a strong sort of, it's interesting. And I have another one where I'm like kind of in an old neighborhood I used to live in that was kind of hilly, but this is way steeper and way more hilly, but it's similar. So the things I remember tend to be like these settings rather than actions, so it's more like, more like empty canvases where things could happen, empty stage sets really. So yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say, I have a reoccurring dream of always being a guest on the second-rate radio show. And it's not a dream. This is your waking time.
Yes, right. It's not a dream, it's a nightmare. I mean, and that brings up a whole thing too. Nightmares are a whole separate thing.
Oh,
like, why do we have dreams that scare us? That's like our deep unconscious anxieties and fears come to the fore with that, and you get into things like night terrors, and then you start getting into the lore of people with sleep paralysis, and that's like a whole separate thing that branches out into legends of the incubus and the succubus, and even alien abduction and all that kind of stuff like can come under those things. And a lot of scientists will dismiss those as just like tricks of the brain, but some people say, yeah, but there's external elements to it as well. So is there more than one cause for sleep paralysis? Yeah, that's a very terrifying thing. So yeah, I've had it a couple of times in my life, and it's very unpleasant. So yeah,
sleep paralysis. Yeah.
Like knowing that you're feeling very unpleasant, but feeling like you can't move, and then I wake up and it's it's really interesting. Yeah.
Well, and some people who they go to bed just fine, and they wake up the next day with some kind of device in them.
Well, that's different. That's they didn't imagine that. So. Yeah, implants. That's a whole separate thing. But it is interesting that some people that talk about alien abductions do have some of the classic symptoms of sleep paralysis, but then there's all this extra stuff on the outside as well. So, yeah, there you go. It's a great show. So yeah, there's whole things about that as well that are really, really interesting. The word, like even nightmare, for people who are wondering, it actually comes from Middle English. Mara actually meant evil spirit in Old English and Middle English. So a nichtmara is a visitation at night by an evil spirit, and that's nothing to do with a horse. They're the same word, but they're not related. So it doesn't mean a horse is coming galloping up to you, dragging you into whatever. But yeah, nichtmara meant a night spirit.
How incredible!
Yeah.
I mean, this is a whole other topic about words in general and where things come from. And I know that's one of your specialties.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's great fun.
And the idea of like, we just say the word nightmare, but we know what it means. But not very many of us have ever really thought about where it came from.
It's interesting. It shows that people then had nightmares as well. So like, this is something we've been doing. Absolutely. It's like a product of the modern world. People have been having bad dreams. The Romans and the Greeks were very much interested in dreams, and there were like whole classes of priests that devoted their lives to dream interpretation. So it's like it was taken very, very seriously. So yeah, dreams of bad omens and death and dreaming of your own death. I had a dream of my own death once. That was very unsettling. So it is interesting. Yeah.
I need to take a break, but I got to tell you real fast. So did I.
Interesting.
And it was I had a dream. I was going that I was outside a restaurant that's now been torn down. It was a great. It was a real fixture of Minneapolis called Nye's, and I rarely ever go there. And I had a dream that I was gunned down in front of Nye's, and it was very unsettling. But I don't ever go there, so I don't really worry about it.
Yeah.
But that day, we're going to a funeral with a friend, and she's like, you know what? When we're done with the funeral, we're not too far from it. Let's go to Nye's for lunch. Isn't that amazing?
I mean, it might have been your brain linking. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah, wow. I was going to say, if you knew you were going there ahead of time, but you didn't know you were going. That's yeah. Oh, we'll chat more. We can talk about prophetic dreams when we come back, because I found those really interesting. So yeah,
absolutely. My co-host is setting us off into break. I love it. That's what it's all about. That's
go to a break.
That's what co-hosts do. All right, we're talking about the Little Dream Dictionary with author Tim Rayborn. We're gonna take a break. Come back. If you have any questions, please let Tim know. This is so fascinating. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. Greg Bakun here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information.
Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey, bacon, avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
Twin Cities Con returns to the Minneapolis Convention Center for their 5th year, November 7th through the 9th. Twin Cities Con is a celebration of comics, toys, TV, film, art, cosplay, games, and all things nerdy. There's nothing like Twin Cities Con. It's also a family-friendly event where you can meet your favorite celebrities, browse the vendor hall and artist alley for the coolest merch, watch celebrity Q&As, and even more. Twin Cities Con is bigger and better than before. Come see from the Star Wars universe Ahmad Best, Rosario Dawson and Giancarlo Esposito, Brendan Fraser, and the cast of The Mummy, WWE Wrestling Hall of Famers Sting and Mick Foley, and the voice actors from the hit Disney series Phineas and Ferb, plus more guests to be announced. 3 days of action-packed fun in the heart of Minneapolis at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Tickets start at $50. Kids tickets are just $10 for the entire weekend. VIP tickets also available, including a 3-day weekend pass, plus some really cool VIP perks. More guests will be announced. Buy your tickets and get more information at TwinCitiesCon.com.
And join me tomorrow on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun. We are going to be talking with Ben over at Twin Cities Con. We're going to be talking about the convention. I also want to kind of talk a little bit, because I've been doing conventions for a couple years. Let's be honest, probably nearly 40. A lot's changed since then. I want to talk about that a little bit as well, and just kind of talk about the climate we're in, where we have these big names now who want to take part in these things, and just talk about that kind of community and everything about it. Twin Cities Con is coming up this weekend at the Minneapolis Convention Center. You go to twincitiescon.com and you can see all the guests, and there's a lot of them. And once again, GhostBox Radio is going to have a table there, and we're going to do a presentation Saturday afternoon about the paranormal. So please come on out, say hi. On Wednesday, we're going to talk to Pat O'Keefe. We're talking about Appalachian curses. That's going to be very interesting. I'm very interested to hear what that's all about. And so join us definitely for that. I'm looking at Tim when I said that. Tim, you probably know all about the curses, don't you? I mean, you just you're all about that kind of learning.
What, cursing people? No, not really.
Not cursing people. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
No. No, the con sounds great this week. Sounds like it's gonna be a really great event. So just listening to the ad about it sounds really fun.
Well, Ahmed Best is gonna be there. Jar Jar Binks. We're gonna talk with him. He has a lot to answer for.
Yeah, we have a big one here I live just north of Portland, and there's the Rose City Comic Con, which happens in September every year, and that's big. They always have some really cool guests and such. So yeah, it's most cities have them now at various points around the year, and it's great. They're really cool.
They do, and I had been doing conventions since like the late 80s, and it's just the whole dynamic about it all has changed so much.
I used to go to the creation cons in the 80s, and that was like a really
Star Trek ones.
Star Trek and comics and stuff. Yeah, way back in the 80s. Yeah, they were really fun.
I used to do the Doctor Who ones.
Oh yeah, sure.
So yeah. We're talking with Tim Rayborn. We're talking about the Little Dream Dictionary, and this is a great conversation. And dreams themselves are so great. You can get the book over at Amazon, Barnes and Noble. You want to go and talk with your local bookseller. If they don't have it, they can order it.
Yeah.
Have them support. Otherwise, you can, if you're feeling generous to GhostBox Radio tonight, please go over to ghostboxradio.com, GhostBox Book Club. There's an Amazon affiliated link, and you can certainly pick it up there. It helps us directly as well. Whatever works for you, though, as long as you get the book, that's all I care about. And you talked about I don't even know where to go, because you talked about prophetic dreams.
Yeah. It's not something I really talk about too much in this book, because this is more just about mainstream interpretations, but it is something, it's like a whole separate book in and of itself. And I've had a few. We were talking first about dying in dreams, and I have to tell you, there was this weird one many years ago.
Yeah.
I was a teenager, and I had this dream that I somehow swallowed or drank or somehow ingested something that was highly poisonous, and in the dream I could feel like my heart rate increasing and all this. It was really upsetting, because I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, and then I woke up from it. But it was really intense. It was like you could actually feel it like starting to take hold, as I ingested this whatever it was. So yeah, it was crazy.
You made me think of one that maybe you could look up if it's there.
Sure.
Have you ever had a dream where you're eating glass?
No, I have not, but I know that is. I'm not sure that I can count. Let me see if there probably is some entries for glass. Do you ever have the teeth falling out dreams? Dreams where like your teeth crumble and fall out?
I think so, yes.
That is a weirdly common dream that people have, and it has a tendency. Let me just see if there's anything about that. Well, let's see what it says about glass. 78 to 79. Yeah. Oh, there's all sorts of things. Broken glass can mean any number of things. Glass breaks or shatters in your dream. You might be experiencing a breakthrough of some kind, even a victory. Eating or chewing glass. You might have said something that was hurtful to someone else. You've cut them with your words, and they are offended, angry, or even sad. Or alternately, are you struggling to find the right words to say to someone? You might fear coming across the wrong way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
My sister, excuse me, my sister, about 10 years ago, she told me about a dream. It wasn't long after our dad passed away, and she had a dream that he was in the room with her, and his tooth fell out.
Yeah.
But then when she woke up and she was getting ready, her tooth fell out.
Wow, that's weirdly, yeah. Teeth falling out is a whole thing. It's weirdly common. I have a whole section devoted to it, actually, because it happens enough that it merited its own entry. Yeah, teeth falling out is a oddly common dream. It can be like real world. You're afraid of dental problems, but it also can indicate health concerns. A lot of it is loss of control, like fearing you're losing control over a situation, whether that's your health or an external situation.
Oh, wow.
It would mean that you've lost something important, or you're fearing, maybe you're afraid of losing a job, or there's been a death in the family or something similar. So it usually refers to loss of some kind, something you have no control over. And that's what it would be. If you're seeing your teeth crumble and fall out, you can't control that.
You know, I may have had dreams like that before, and they hadn't been for a while. Watch tonight.
Yeah.
The whole night will be nothing but that. But I never knew that was something so common like that.
It's weirdly common. Yeah, lots of people. I've had them multiple times over the years, so it's interesting. Yeah.
Do you ever have dreams where you wake up and you're just like, the place that I've been, and I'm not talking about astro projection or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking, like, the architecture in my dream is on a level that I could never possibly, as far as like if I were to sit down and try to do that, draw it, and it's just like, it's like breathtaking, it's beautiful, and it's like you almost don't want to leave it because it's so amazing. I haven't
had anything quite that elaborate, but I know some people who have. Actually, there's like a whole there's whole like subreddits on the Reddit website devoted to people who like share images of things that they've seen that other people also say they've seen. There's one I guess it's called The Dream World, and people post like things, and other people say, well, this looks exactly like the thing I dreamed of, as if they're like, and then you're getting into Jungian concepts of like collective unconscious. Are people actually tapping into something where they're sharing a real place, or the dreaming from Sandman, that kind of thing? Is it a real place that people are tapping into? That's a whole separate conversation in and of itself. So yeah.
That's one of those things that will make my head hurt.
Yeah.
Because it's like that whole thing of like, well, are we in the dream right now? That sort of thing, It's like, no, please, no.
Did I have the dream, or did the dream have me? Yes.
Well, and that's always the scary part about it, because you wake up from a dream, and sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes I have to kind of remind myself that what I just experienced actually isn't my life.
Right. Or is it?
Well, that's just it.
Is this the dream? Is this what we're dreaming? And then when we go to sleep, we wake up to the real place. That's the.
I mean, what if I wake up suddenly as an 87-year-old man, and I dreamt that I was a radio host? I mean,
how many things, like the Wizard of Oz, so many things are based around dreams like that, where somebody dreams and goes to another place and has adventures. That's a common theme in fantasy literature. Absolutely. So yeah.
I don't know. This is starting to depress me now.
Well, I'll leave you with an interesting story since we're almost done. My mother actually had a really interesting. We're talking about prophetic dreams, and I think it was it was a plane crash that happened in the mid-'80s. It wasn't the Lockerbie bombing, but it was one of those crashes. And about 2 days before it, she had this really detailed dream about seeing aircraft wreckage all over the ground and fires and things. And then literally like a day or two later, this accident happened. And her mother used to get these things too. So it's like, it's clearly there's something that they're picking up on, and it runs in families. So it was, that I found really, really interesting. Yeah.
That is interesting. And
disturbing. She was disturbed by it for a while. And then it happened. It was like even more freaky. So yeah.
It's scary too. I wouldn't want to have that ability personally.
Yeah, people talk about psychic abilities, but it sounds like sometimes it can be more of a curse, with things like that. So
something like that, absolutely. I remember having dreams of, and I follow severe weather quite a bit. I used to chase tornadoes, and I'd have dreams about being like outside and looking up, and like outside of this house I'm in now, and in the backyard looking up and seeing a wall cloud where a funnel is forming and trying to come down, and I did. It had actually happened once, and it's just like.
Did you end up with a bunch of short people in a house with like shoes sticking out from underneath it? Because that's that's the important thing.
I had to tell a Tin Man that he didn't have a heart, and that he didn't take that too well. He got
it too kindly. No, he got his axe out.
His axe.
Yeah. It's another dream death. The Tin Man chopped your head off. So,
right. Yeah, it was fun. Coincidentally, that was the day I decided to stop the shrooms, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's funny. Yeah, I had a dream that I won the lottery once, like a 6-digit lottery, and I remembered all of the numbers. And I played them every week for a couple of years, and nothing happened. So there you go.
I don't blame you, though. I would do exactly the same.
One week I didn't, and 4 of them came up. So I would have won maybe $70, $80. So, you know, that was fate sort of like just tweaking my nose there. So
well, then, you know, is that where we get into the conspiracy of, well, the lottery people are now beaming stuff into your brain to get you to play every week, and
there's hats you can wear to stop that from happening. So
I always tell people when I do presentations, like, I forgot the tinfoil hats for you to wear while we talk, you know, just because it's
safer.
It's needed. It's safer. It really is. Now, what book are you coming out with next week? I mean, you seem to be coming out with
next week. Nothing more this year. Next year, I've got a few things coming out. So I've got a book on it'll be out in March, April. So I'd love to come and talk about it. It's going to be on the sort of strange, bizarre history of food and drink throughout human history.
Ooh.
Like weird stories about weird foods and people who died from strange food poisonings and all sorts of things like that. So it's going to be really demented and dark. That'll be out March, April, I think. So yeah, that'll be fun.
As it happens, I'm starting a food show.
Oh, wow.
Next year. So maybe get you on for that. And
I would love to do that. That'd be great. Yeah.
It's kind of interesting side.
Just finishing it up now. I think it's supposed to be out in March, April, something like that. So yeah. And then I've got, I wrote for the same company, I wrote a Star Wars tie-in, which I'm very proud of, speaking of things. That's going to be fun. So that's coming out in like April, May, tying in with the new Mandalorian film coming out next year. So that'll be really cool. Yeah. And then I've got a history book and another novel coming out. So it's a busy year. So yeah.
You have 1 or 2 things going on. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, good for you. I'm very happy. I hope it's always, I hope it's successful. Once again, folks, the book is called The Little Dream Dictionary, an A to Z guide to decoding your dreams. Tim Rayborn is the author on that. And once again, folks, I'm going to draw your attention to the local booksellers. If you want to order through them, keep them going, or GhostBox Radio, GhostBox Book Club for the Amazon affiliated link, whatever you want to do. This sounds like a great book to take, you know, to pick up and read. And I don't know. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I think you could spend hours on that book.
Oh, yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, we could talk about all sorts of other things, but yeah, I always come on these thinking, oh, how am I going to talk about this for an hour? And then like you look at the time, like we're done already. So.
We're over. No, we're not.
Yeah.
But anyway, once again, Little Dream Dictionary, author Tim Rayborn. Tim, thank you so very much.
So much. It's always a pleasure to come talk.
And
so, yeah.
So happy to have you. Tomorrow we're going to be talking Twin Cities Con. Everyone, have a great night.